record button. So tonight we're going to talk about a few things, a couple of recaps, and talk a little bit about scheduling and a little bit about e-textbooks. First thing I want to do is I'm going to mention a couple of, let me find my, where's my remote? There it is. Okay, let me put my slides up. Okay, first I want to make a plug. I know you've all received probably stuff in the mail, or email rather. Next Tuesday on the 5th, we're having a freshman introductory retreat for the class of 2027. It's from 9 to 1. I've seen the agenda. It's very much a student-led, a student-led day. There'll be some student speakers. There'll be some small group stuff. There'll be some outdoor activities, and I hear at least one food truck, and I think I heard an ice cream truck too. So there'll definitely be some, it'll be a good time. It'll be a good opportunity for the boys to meet one another, those that haven't met, a lot of their classmates. So it's definitely a good time. So that's next Tuesday, the 5th, from 9 to 1. I know you've already gotten an email from the admissions office, but just wanted to plug that'll be happening next week. Okay, so since the last time we saw each other last week, I've put up the 4 Tech Tuesday videos. Those are on our website, on our YouTube site. Excuse me. And I've also put up a bunch of orientation videos for technology. Rather than trying to cram everything in on the first day, I will be presenting about technology on orientation day. But these videos are designed for you to watch. There's certain skills. They're short. So, for example, one is how to authenticate your ID card to the printers. Right. One of them is about how to sign on to ExamSoft. Right. There's, I think, a dozen or so of them that are available for you. And I think they're worthwhile to watch before you get into school on the first day. So it'll give you an idea of what we use, and a combination of that and the Tech Tuesdays, I think, will make your technology orientation more useful, because it will be a review for you as opposed to you learning it for the first time. So I encourage you to take a look at them. They're on our YouTube channel, as well as the other Tech Tuesdays, and I'll put this one up hopefully tomorrow. The slides for tonight's deck is in the chat in Zoom, so I welcome you to download those if you want to. Okay, let's see. Just a couple things to point out. Our Technology Support Center is open during the school year, Monday to Friday, 7:30 to 3. And it is located it's next to room 11 and across from room 10, which is the music room, in what traditionally was called the senior hallway, so rooms 10 through 16. And it's available for you. I have a combination of, you've met Mrs. Robolino if you've been to pick up your devices, but also I have a bunch of students that work for me and work in that office. They are a great place to go if you're having trouble with, can't sign into the internet, or have a device problem, or can't print or whatever. They're a great place to start. We have the physical help desk and the virtual help desk, which is helpdesk@burncatholic.org. And that'll be staffed for the first couple of weeks, probably till about 6 p.m., 7 a.m. to 6 p.m. So if you're having a problem and you don't necessarily need to see somebody in person, because that line can get a little crazy the first couple of days of school, you could certainly email the help desk and you will get an answer rather quickly. Okay? So those both are there for you. If you have not dropped off a device yet or need to pick one up, please do that. We are in this week, tomorrow and Thursday, 8 to 2. If you haven't submitted a ID card picture, which I see the same names in every Tech Tuesday, I'm sure you all did. If you didn't, please take care of that. I want to talk a little bit about the bell schedules, because part of my job is to build the master schedule every year. It is our intention that we're going to release them on Friday. So your teachers, your classroom assignments, your teacher assignments, and your schedule will happen on Friday. I just want to take a few minutes and walk through what the schedule looks like, and I need to, when I get down to 6th period, I'll move my camera. So we have 6 periods in a day. For the first at least 3 weeks of school, we will run the same schedule every day, okay, Monday through Friday. And then eventually what we will do is start to use our activity schedule, which is Tuesdays and Thursdays. And that schedule is just, we shorten, every period by about 5 minutes so we can fit in an extra period at the end for activities. Right? So our day starts officially at 7:55, and 7:55 means you are seated in your first period class in your desk ready to go. Okay? It's not walking into first period. It's not walking through the hallway to get to first period. You're in your seat. You're ready to go. Okay? So we do the prayer, pledge, announcements over BCTV. We start that every day, and BCTV is not only seen throughout the class, each classroom, but we also stream it on YouTube if the parents want to see that as well. So you go to your first 2 periods, and then you go to homeroom. Right? There's a little bit of a longer break between second period and homeroom. And then for freshmen, you're going to go to third period. After third period, you'll go to lunch. Okay? So fourth and fifth period are each an hour long. So for the freshmen, you'll go to lunch for A, what we call the first part of fourth period, and then for B, you go to class, whatever is scheduled for fourth period. Okay? During period 5 is when the juniors and seniors eat, so you have a 63-minute block, which we call the block period. Okay, for freshmen and sophomores, that's the period 5 is the block period. And then 6th period, and then you're done for the day at 2. All right? And then on Tuesdays and Thursdays, let me just get rid of myself for a minute, that activity period is from 1:30 to 2. That allows you time to go to either your Tuesday or your Thursday activity. Okay? It can get a little confusing. Once you go through the cycle once, then it all of a sudden becomes much more clearer. This is what it looks like in terms of the rotation. Now, if you notice, you're going to start on Friday the 8th. We're going to run, on Monday the 11th. You'll start with a day 1 schedule, so you go periods 1 through 6. So you'll notice that period 1, that yellow box, day 1, period 1, okay, will then drop on day 2, because after you meet a class on period 1, it drops the next academic day and then comes back in the day after on period 6, and then it works its way through the rotation. Okay, so you notice each color rotates from 6th period through 1st period, and then it drops, and it comes back in at 6 again. Okay, and then you see the freshman lunch, which is during the first part of period D. So every class meets at a different time every day over the 7-day cycle. You drop the class once, so you meet 6 out of 7. So the easiest example is if we look at period F, which is day 1, period 6. It goes right down the line. Day 2 is the full 63-minute block. Day 3, you meet for 30 minutes in the second half of period 4, which we call 4B. And then third period on day 4, second on day 5, and first on 6, and drops on 7. Okay, I'll let that soak in for a little bit. Certainly I'll answer questions about that. It's really not as complicated as it looks. When it releases on PowerSchool, this is what you're going to see. You will see it rotating the same way. So the days go down on the schedule, and the periods go from left to right. So day 1, this student, and this is a little bit of an older screenshot, but would take engineering, Spanish, homeroom, religion, biology. And biology would be the half period. So first half of period D is lunch, second half is biology. World history is the full 63-minute block, and then English is the final period of the day. When you also see PowerSchool, you'll see a weekly bell schedule, which I kind of like this a little bit. It's easier than the matrix schedule because it will show you on here's the day and here's what your classes are and the times and the rooms. Okay, so this particular bell schedule shows a first period class of phys ed in the gym from 7:55 to 8:32, and then the second class is biology in room 2 from 8:35 to 9:05. All right. You may see changes in your schedule up to the first day of school, okay? Because I'm balancing, I'm making sure that classes aren't too big, I'm looking at rooms, there's all sorts of things that I'm doing up until that first day. So it's important that on Sunday the 10th, you look at your schedule and just make sure that it's the same. Okay? Because if you screenshot it when you see it on Friday and then you look at it again the following week, something will probably change. Okay? So just keep that in mind. And I'll send you a reminder that says, hey, don't forget to look at your schedule before coming to school tomorrow. All right? Does anybody have any questions about the schedule? I know it's a little intense, but you do it once or twice and all of a sudden it becomes, second nature. Can I answer any questions about the schedule? Or you want me to repeat anything? Okay. Certainly if, yes, you have, here we go. Yes, you have homeroom every day. Let's go back to, this is the matrix schedule on PowerSchool. You have homeroom every day. Now, there is one caveat, so to speak. If you have a science lab in second period, okay, so which you'd see on your schedule is period B, or in this case, if you had, let's say you have a science lab in B2, which is the green box, day 2 period, second period, that would extend into homeroom. So your science class is your homeroom class. So you wouldn't go to homeroom at the end. You would get those extra 15 minutes or so for lab. Okay, but that would be your whole class. You would all stay together. Not every class has that. Not every science class has that. Some have lab during the 5th period block, so that wouldn't affect homeroom, right? There are some. So if you are in lab on second period, you'll just stay there through homeroom. No big deal. Your teachers already know that. It's nothing new. Okay, so yes, you do have homeroom every day. Activity period. Everything happens the same during activity period. Twice, what you'll do is once you get through the cycle once, you'll be allowed to choose a Tuesday activity and a Thursday activity. They're required for grades 9 through 11. So you have to go, depending on, you might have 2 different activities, you might have the same activity, depending on if that activity is offered both days. So you choose an activity, and then you're scheduled there, and you have to go to that location for your activity on Tuesday or Thursday. So for example, I might do student government on Tuesday and I might do mission club on Thursday. So those are my 2 activities. That's what I go to. There are teachers that are available for enrichment during that time, but you don't sign up for that as a club. You sign up for a club, and then if you need to go to enrichment, you let your activity moderator know that you're going to enrichment, right? But not to worry about activity period. That won't be a thing until probably week 3 or so. We'll start talking about it, but we won't do it probably till the end of September at the earliest, to give you, the freshmen a little bit of time to adjust to the schedule, doing the same thing every day, going through the rotation, finding their classrooms and whatnot. Okay? Any other questions about the schedule I can answer? And this is all in the slides that are in the chat. I can certainly come back to the schedule when we're done. I want to mention about e-textbooks. You will, throughout the course of the first week of school, get access to your ebooks. We do not have any physical textbooks at Bergen Catholic. Everything is electronic. So your credentials, as shown here, are the same for every book. Okay? It's always your Bergen Catholic email address, and your password is Bergen1955. Okay? Now, so regardless of what book you're using, and I'll show you the apps in a second, that's what you would use. Okay? Mr. Powers, who does the bookstore, is also in charge of e-textbooks. Okay? That's one thing I can defer on, even though it's technology. He sets up the licensing and who has access to what books, and that gets done. He does it very diligently, and there's a lot that's involved. But if you're having trouble accessing your book, you want to see Mr. Powers. Now, I don't want you to go bang on his classroom door when he's teaching on the first day of school, but certainly he's available during homeroom, or he's available for and after school to help you with getting access to your books. Okay, so if you had maybe a late schedule change, and let's say you were scheduled for algebra and you had access to that book, and now you have to get the geometry book, he'll help you get through that. Okay. Let's see. So the couple of apps that you'll need for your iPad for books, and depending, some teachers might use the laptop for the to access the book online. It depends on what book. But McGraw-Hill K-12 is one of the ones we use the most. So the McGraw K-12 app is one you'll need. You'll also need Read Anywhere by McGraw-Hill. Two different apps depending on the book that you're using. And then the third one is St. Mary's Press, which will be for your religion book. Okay, so at all levels of religion, you will use St. Mary's Press. Okay, and again, some of the teachers, depending on the subject and the book, there might be some interactive stuff you'll use, and it might make sense to use the MacBook for that. But generally, you use your iPad to access your books. Right? And Mr. Powers again is the person to go to if you have any questions about your books. Right? As a reminder, once you get your devices, you should have created a Bergen Catholic Apple ID. So using your Bergen Catholic email address, create an Apple ID, and then log into your MacBook and your iPad with that Apple ID. Okay, we talked about keeping personal devices separate and using this Apple ID for your Bergen Catholic stuff. At one point, I actually had my own stuff combined on the same Apple ID, and I found it confusing. It was easier for me to separate my work stuff, so I have my work Apple ID for my work devices, and I have my home Apple ID for my home devices. Right? So if you haven't done that, please do that prior to the first day. You will need to bring both devices. I forget if I mentioned it in here. Bring both devices on the first day on the 7th. Right? That's the 7th. Yes, on the 7th. You'll bring both devices because we're going to use them for a little bit when we talk about, we're going to go through a review of some of this because not everybody has seen these. All right, so we'll go through some review. So hopefully by the end of that day, you're set and ready to go. Okay. As a reminder, your summer assignments are due on Wednesday the 6th. So for you all, you have a math assignment and a science assignment. I made the offer last week if you need your assignment scanned to come in, and lo and behold, somebody came in, and I forgot to tell the ladies in the main office, and they came in looking for a scan. I said absolutely. They got their stuff scanned and were able to upload it, no problem. So if you're having trouble, please come into school. We'll do that for you. Once you get your ID card and you're able to print and scan, you'll be able to do that on your own. But if you need it, we'll certainly help you do that. So your math packet is due and your science packet is due, and then you will be assessed on a separate piece, the book, during the first full week of school. Okay, and the English department wants you to know plot, characters, symbols, and themes in the book. Okay. And just as a reminder, we talked about this last week, but if you missed it or want to review it, submitting your summer assignments, when you log into Blackboard, you will see your summer assignment classes for either algebra or biology. And if you're in geometry, you'd see geometry as well. So you'll go into that class, and then you'll click on content, and then you'll see summer assignment submission. You'll then upload your PDF file, and you're done. Okay? Easy. Right, if you're having trouble, please email the help desk, and they'll make sure if they have to put you in the right class. If you're in the wrong one, no problem. All right, this should not be a stress-induced activity. Please, if you have questions, let's make sure you email the help desk, and we'll get you through those. Okay. And the last thing I want to mention tonight, before I'll answer any other questions, you will be getting an email during the first week of school with your ExamSoft credentials. ExamSoft or Exemplify is our computer-based testing software for the iPad. So you will get those credentials, I'd like to think, before the end of next week, but if not, it's going to be the first full week of school. No one's going to be testing with it, in the first week. But once getting those user IDs into ExamSoft relies on a couple other things. So, and one of that being the schedule. So once that's all done, we'll populate that, and I will send those credentials to you, and then subsequently an email letting you know that I've sent the credentials. And your teachers will use ExamSoft for quizzes, tests, and certainly final exams. Okay? So that is about all I have in terms of content. Does anybody have questions for me about anything that I've covered tonight? Where do you pick up your ID card? Yes, please. Your ID card you will get on the first day of school. Your ID card you will get on the first day during homeroom. Now, if for some reason you don't get your card, it depending on if you had a science class switch or there was or is class balancing, do not worry about it. It's in another homeroom. Worst case, the IT office can print you another one. No big deal, okay? For those of you that didn't submit a picture, you're not going to get an ID card. Okay, that's going to potentially make things, which we probably won't be able to do for you on the first day. Okay, so if you haven't sent in that ID picture, please do it so we can print you that card. Okay, I just reposted the slides. How do we pay for lunch? I'm going to put Mr. Jerry Morano, who is the cafeteria manager, after I give the dog some more peanut butter. He's a smart dog. Mr. Morano, has been feeding. Mr. Morano fed me at Bergen Catholic in the early 90s, so he's been around a while. But he is the one you want to reach out to about payments. I just threw his email address. Whoops, I did it to whoever asked me. Hold on, let me put that to everybody. It's cafemorano@aol.com, and you can send him an email about paying for lunch and tell him I sent you, and tell him you want the 5% discount, and hopefully he doesn't say anything snide in return. How do we find our worksheets on Blackboard? Your worksheets for the summer assignments are on the BC website, and I have it up here from the last time. So let me scoot over to, yep. So if you go to bergencatholic.org/summer assignments, there is a listing of all your summer assignments. And when you scroll down to the bottom, make this a little bigger, whoops, it says freshman biology, algebra, and geometry down here. So if you click on biology, for example, this will give you your PDF file, which you can either annotate, save it and annotate it, or save it, print it, write on it, and then scan it. Okay. School calendar shows final exam schedule for next June, the last day of school for the year. I can answer that. Let me find my calendar. Is this the one? Nope. That's not the one. Whatever that Friday of the first full week is, and I will find that in a second. I apologize. Oh, I don't have that profile open. That's why. History 16, restore all tabs. Oh, I know where it is. It's on the other screen. So I'll just do this here. Your last day of school. Very important question. Your last day of school is Thursday, June 6th. I forgot we ended the day early. Thursday, June 6th is your last day of school, for those that asked. Cafe Murano, I did that. What apps do we need to download from today's session? Sorry, I missed one. Should we print a schedule to follow on the 7th, 8th? Where can I find my schedule? Your schedule will come out on Friday, I think, is our target date. So we'll send out a note that says your schedule is out, and that will give you a week to look at it. On Tuesday, if you come for the orientation, I don't know if they have time built in for where things are, but certainly if you, it might not be a bad idea if you're very not familiar with the building, bring in your schedule and just kind of, walk around, see where your classrooms are. Okay, definitely not a bad thing. And certainly if you have questions or concerns about where things are, any adult in the building can help you. And all the students that are going to be there on Tuesday the 5th, have given up the last day, really, or the second to last day of their summer vacation to help you guys and give you guys to start you off the school year right. Okay, so those guys can definitely help you in terms of how do I get from this place to this place and where's this room and so forth. Okay, so I would definitely you could print your matrix schedule if you want to. You can also look at it on your phone, your iPad, whatever. But I would wait till you're not going to need it for the 7th because you're just going to be in homeroom, and then you'll need it for the first day of class. Right? The apps for today. Let me go back to that slide. The apps, there were 3 just for the books. They were McGraw-Hill K-12, Read Anywhere, McGraw-Hill. And the third one is St. Mary's Press. Okay, those are the three. Let's see. When you say scan it, do you mean take a picture of the printout and upload it to Blackboard? That is what I did. I submitted it. It worked fine. Yeah, as long as it's a PDF file, I think that's probably easiest for our teachers. As long as it's one file and you're not submitting a picture of each page, that's fine to do. PDF works the best. Can we only scan our sheets in the building? No, you can scan your sheets wherever you want. My offer was if for some reason you don't have a scanner at home, you're having trouble, bring it in and we'd be more than happy to do it. What do we need to know about our summer assignment book? The text from the website was, let me do this. Let me pull it up here just so you know it's the same. Reading assessments for a separate piece will be completed in class during the first full week of school. Please be sure to know plot, characters, symbols, and themes. Okay, that's what you need for your book. Should we download PowerSchool and Amplify to laptop or just iPad? Just to the iPad is fine. Do we need devices for the 5th? No, you do not. You're just bringing yourself on the 5th. No dress code. You know, you don't have to be in a shirt and tie or anything. It's a casual day for you to get acclimated to the school. Do we download it on the Mac or the iPad? Those apps get downloaded to the iPad. What else can I answer? If you're having trouble with the content, that's the best thing to do is to make a note on the, have your son make a note on the packet. You know, I don't want to speak for the teachers, but they're looking for, you know, an honest effort. They're not looking for perfection because they want to see, you know, exactly how much everybody knows and then gauge how they should pace their classes. You know, if you really are concerned about a struggle with the content, send me an email offline and we can address that. How do we scan our sheets on the Blackboard app? You're on the website. You're just going to use any type of. You could use any multifunction scanner. You could use an app on your phone. That'll take a picture and convert it to a PDF. That's fine too. The last app was, which one is this? St. Mary's Press was the last app. So 2 McGraw-Hills and a St. Mary's Press. Did I get everything? Let's see. Got that. Oh. On half days, do they serve lunch? Yes. Well, the schedule for, hold on. I don't want to, that is a relatively new thing. I hate to say back in my day, but when we had half days, we didn't eat. And then we kind of realized a couple years ago that the kids are kind of hungry. So on half days, generally, we will feed you. Freshman lunch is more like breakfast. It's about 9:15 in the morning, but at least you'll have the opportunity to eat. Let me just make sure. Okay. I'm just looking at the letter from Mr. McElhenney about the first day. I don't want to give you incorrect information because this year we're doing something a little different with the orientation for the remainder of the students. Okay, yes. So I'm sorry. On the 8th, which would be your first day of classes, the 8th, there is no lunch period. But that's generally the only half day where we don't have lunch. And we also don't, no, I take that back. That's one of the few days that we will not have lunch during a half day. Generally during a half day we do have lunch. Okay? They're 21-minute periods. I believe this letter went out already, but you will not have lunch on that Friday. But come the Monday, which is a normal schedule, you'll have lunch. Besides laptop, iPad, do we need to bring anything else to school? Your teachers will go over with you during the first couple of classes if there's anything special that they need. I would suggest to start with a notebook, something to write with. That would help. And then if there's anything special teachers want, they'll let you know. Some prefer using solely the computer. Some may want a notebook. So that depends. But they'll let you know that. How often is Mass, and is it on school days? Yes. The first Mass we'll have is probably around week 3, which is Mass of the Holy Spirit. We generally have Mass once a month. The entire school community will gather in the gym. So we have Mass of the Holy Spirit October. I don't think we have anything. November we'd have All Saints Day. We have Mass and then Mass for Thanksgiving, and then we'd have Mass right before we leave for the Christmas holiday. So there's generally about one a month. And there's a special dress code. Everybody's in a blazer, shirt, and tie, regardless of your grade level. So everybody wears a shirt and tie and a blazer or a sport coat to Mass. The questions I can answer. Any other questions that I can answer? No, certain type of pants. No, I think 99% of the students wear khaki-colored pants and a white shirt and a blue blazer. That's fine. Does not be anything specific. I will say this. As an administration, we are here if you have questions or concerns. We want to make sure that you're successful on your first, your first couple of days. Thinking back, I started in 1991. I stood in the parking lot until brother called us into the gym. So we've come a long way since that time. We want to make sure that you're comfortable coming in. You have questions. We don't want it to be a stressful experience by any means. As your dean, in addition to being the AP for instructional technology, as your dean, part of my job is to make sure you're supported and you have what you need to be successful. All right. So, we'll talk about that during orientation. But it's important that if you have questions, you reach out. If you want to, if there's something even if you don't have your schedule yet, if you want to come into the building, tomorrow or Thursday and see where the classrooms are, hey, great, that's fine. Whatever you need to do, please reach out, to myself, to other members of the administration. And if you have a question that you need an answer to, send me an email, and I'll try and get that answered for you. Okay? Last call for questions. Well, it's the last weekend of summer. Please enjoy yourselves. Enjoy time with your families. We are looking forward to seeing you on Tuesday the 5th for the Freshman Introductory Retreat experience, and then on Thursday the 7th for your orientation. Again, any questions, always feel free to shoot me an email. With that, I will bid you good night. Enjoy the last weekend of summer, and we will see you all next week. Good night, everybody.